This is Nii Quaye, a fisherman in a small coastal village. For years, he borrowed money from a seaman, Captain Diego, the master of a cargo vessel that docked nearby. At first, it seemed harmless, small loans to repair his nets or buy fuel for his boat. But as the seasons changed, the fish became scarce, and he found himself borrowing more to survive. Captain Diego, once friendly, began to demand his repayments. The loans came with interest, and soon, Nii was trapped, unable to pay back what he owed. Captain Diego started making demands. Nii's catch was no longer his, it belonged to the captain. His time, his labor, even his dignity were not his own anymore. Nii Quaye was now a slave to his debt. Nii's story is not just his own, it's the story of Ghana. Ghana is a rich country in resources, gold, cocoa, oil, fertile lands, vibrant people. But like Nii, Ghana has borrowed heavily. Over the years, loans have flowed in from International Monetary Fund, the Japanese government, China, and other powerful nations. These loans were meant to build infrastructure, create jobs, and lift the nation. But where has the money gone? Our debt now stands in hundreds of billions of cedis. For every cedi we earn as a nation, over half goes to paying back loans and interest. This debt isn't just numbers on a balance sheet. It's a noose tightening around the necks of Ghanaian citizens. These loans were supposed to build roads, schools, and hospitals. But in reality, much of it has been squandered. A new flyover here, a flashy government building there, projects meant for more political points than the people, and the rest often funneled into the pockets of a select few, friends, families, and cronies. The price of this borrowing is paid by the ordinary Ghanaian. When the IMF or China calls for repayments, the government raises taxes, cuts subsidies, or increases utility tariffs. Electricity bills soar, food prices spike, unemployment rises, and the gap between the rich and the poor widens every day. We borrow to survive, but we end up poorer. We dig deeper into the debt trap, just like Nii Quaye. It's a cruel irony that a country so rich in natural resources is so poor. Ghana is the world's second largest producer of cocoa, but our farmers live in poverty. We have vast reserves of gold, yet our streets are filled with potholes. Our oil flows freely, but fuel prices are among the highest in the region. Why? Because much of our wealth goes not into building Ghana, but to repaying our debt. Our lenders, the IMF, China, Japan, are not just giving us money, they are gaining influence over us. China builds our roads, but at what cost? Japan funds our projects, but what's the catch? The IMF gives us loans, but only under conditions that shrink our economy and strip our sovereignty. One of the IMF's control in this process was the now infamous haircut. People who had invested their hard-earned money in government bonds woke up one day to find that a significant portion of their wealth had been wiped away. For some, it was their retirement savings. For others, it was the capital for their business, and the consequences, devastating. Small business owners could no longer pay their suppliers. Farmers couldn't afford seeds for the next planting season. Families were forced to sell their homes, unable to keep up with rising costs. For many, the haircut wasn't just a financial loss, it was a life sentence. Trapped in their own debts, some lost their businesses, some lost their homes, and heartbreakingly, some lost their lives. The haircut left a wound that still hasn't healed. We are losing control. Bit by bit, we are becoming like Nii Quaye, enslaved by debt at the mercy of our creditors. But it doesn't have to be this way. Ghana must reclaim its future. That starts with using our resources wisely. We must invest in industries that create jobs, build wealth, and reduce our dependence on loans. We must demand accountability from our leaders. No more reckless borrowing. No more corruption. And as citizens, we must play our part. A change in mindset, discipline in spending, and the courage to demand better can transform our nation. Nii Quaye eventually learned to live within his means, to fish smarter, and to save for the future. He freed himself from debt, and with it, he regained his dignity. Ghana can do the same. The road will be hard, but our future is worth fighting for. After the elections, the real work begins. Our paymasters may be coming for us, but we must rise and take back our destiny.